Hey, what's up? It's Matt with MJ Gabel, Advisors and Trustees of Fine Jewelry. I wanted to do an intro to the video that you're about ready to see. I had a conference call with a gentleman named Brett. I won't give you his last name. He wanted to consult with me regarding a new platform, I think, or new technology platform for wholesalers of diamonds. So I do, from time to time, get asked to consult with people in and out of the trade, from the supply chain to the retail side to the wholesale side, only be in the secondary market, used goods, i.e., because we're very robust in knowledge of the supply chain and both retail and secondary markets. So I do get asked quite a bit to consult on new ventures or startups and things of that nature. So some of what you're going to hear is part of that, and then the dialogue with Ann and myself as a follow-up, a recap after my conversation with Brett, and we're trying to figure out what he was trying to do, because Ann also has a scheduled call with Brett to kind of go over some of the same things. I think he wants to pick both of our brains. So what you're going to see is bits of Ann and I conversing about that conversation that I had with Brett, and then parts that you won't see Brett, but you'll hear his voice regarding that call and things that we discussed, and then my responses to that. So just wanted to tell you what you're going to be looking at.
My understanding from these guys is that, it's pretty much an old-fashioned kind of a process where the diamond buyer at a retailer, has his or her suppliers and had a personal relationship with, and they call them up when they need product, and so it's being done the old-fashioned way, from what I understand. And these guys are trying to create a new digital platform to make it smoother, better, etc. So I guess what I'm trying to understand is just, how things currently operate. What are the points of pain, right? In other words, what are the, for a diamond buyer today, what are the challenges that a new digital product could help them with?
So I don't think many. I mean, there's many before you. I mean, RapNet does it on their trading platform.
RapNet, right. But RapNet's more of a kind of a classified listing service, right? In other words,
no,
it's not.
No, so I can log into my RapNet screen. So there's two parts to RapNet. There's the diamond pricing calculator or guide that Martin Rappaport produces every month, and that changes accordingly to the market. Then there's RapNet trading platform. So the trading platform, Brett, what that is let's just say I have got a client that's looking for a 1 carat F color SI1 stone. I'll go on there, log into my network, and put those parameters in, and it'll show me everybody in the world that are wholesalers that have that diamond available, and what the price point is. So there's and I'm going to forget the name because I'm never on it. There's actually three trading. There's IDEX, RapNet, and there's another one in there too. My wife may hear me and pop her head in here. But there's three trading platforms. It depends on what you're going to do that is different. So you talked about payment. So a lot of times these guys will go into a member's profile to see how long they've been trading, and there's a rating in there. If I'm a new guy, there's two ways I can do it. Fill out some paperwork, and they will memo the stone to me for X amount of days.
And memo means consignment in this form,
No,
right?
if you use that's consignment would be a secondary market, not in trade. Memo is
what does memo mean?
So memo is they will allow you the diamond for, let's say, a week to show it to your client without money out of pocket to try to help you make the sale. So this tradition goes back way back to the days where a jeweler can create a store with no inventory and use inventory from suppliers and wholesalers, and it feeds both, right? The suppliers really can't move them without the jewelers can't move them without the suppliers, so they kind of met in the middle.
Right.
And there's a lot of companies that do this. So we have some relationships with some guys in New York and LA and other places that will find a piece or need a piece. We'll send it to them. We'll give it to them for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
These are things that have been built years of trust.
Yeah. Because you're not
So
going to do this with somebody you don't trust.
no, and a lot of these guys will, if the documents, if the paperwork you're filling out doesn't look real good, your references are bad, they're going to make you wire it, or what we call a fast check, meaning they'll give you a benefit of doubt, they'll send it to you, and they'll expect a check within 24 hours to be cut.
Okay.
So it depends on what you're looking to set up, and I mean, you got to remember, Blue Nile did this 15 years ago and disrupted the industry. Nobody liked Blue Nile. Now they just sold, or are maybe sold to Signet. I think is going to buy them, or has put a bid in to buy them.
Yeah, I heard that. So memo in this context really means more like a loan. I'm going to loan you this. I'm going to loan you the piece.
Yeah.
And if you sell it,
pay me.
Pay me the prearranged price. But it's not consignment in the sense that it's not a percentage of
correct
what you sell it for.
Yeah.
It's whatever the wholesale price we agreed on.
Yeah.
Just send me a check for that, or send the piece back.
Yeah, and there is typically two price points for a memo price and a buy price, and it's usually a little bit more. So you'll make less as the jeweler because the jeweler's extending, or the wholesaler is extending you a service that he's going to ping you a few extra points in that diamond for.
Got it.
If you need to buy it now and you're going to buy it sight unseen, it's a discounted price because you're not memoing it to them.
Okay.
Now, I'm assuming your platform is probably either going to consist of investors that have diamonds or other wholesalers' diamonds that they have in inventory, and they're going to share that list with you. They're going to be sold or listed on this platform. I'm assuming that's how it would be done, because that's how Blue Nile does it now. They don't even own a majority of their inventory anymore. They used to. They instead got wholesalers in there to list them on the platform and sell them basically for them.
Yeah, and I'm trying to. These guys. One of the two co-founders' family's been in the diamond business for a long time in India, so the reason I'm kind of doing these calls as the newbie, the outsider, is that they've already got preconceived ideas, right? Whereas I don't know anything about the business, and so I can kind of look at this from a fresh set of eyes and try to figure out, is there, are there opportunities somewhere to
an outsider.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I always think of it in terms of, where are the points of pain? In other words, if you're a diamond buyer today, what are the things that are a pain in the ass?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. That's a good point. I mean, being a new diamond dealer, diamond buyer, or jeweler, being new sucks. You have no credit.
Because you have no relationship.
You got no references. You've got nothing. And that, I mean, it took us, 6-8 years just to get to a point where I can get a 4-carat diamond memo to me. And we work with some great guys in New York and in the business and there's two sides of that. Some are really good and some are going to tell you you're never going to make it. I've been told that by many people that you're not going to make it in the diamond world. And I crawled and I punched and I kicked and I made it. So, but the first 5 years is probably crucial. And I don't know. I mean, there's the JBT, the Jeweler Board of Trade. They've kind of lost popularity over the last 5-8 years. The JBT is like a credit bureau for jewelers. The older jewelers use it, and it's actually a credit reporting system for jewelers. The younger guys like me and the newer guys, we just don't use it anymore.
And what is it that you use it for?
So that's like, when you go to get a car loan, they're going to pull your credit file, and you got a 780 credit score. Same thing with JBT.
Got it.
They're gonna keep track of your receivables, your payables, if there's any reports against you. I mean, the issue is there's so much fraud now going in between there that guys are changing their company name and they're moving and they're avoiding certain things when they are shady.
I see. So it's like Dun and Bradstreet. But
yes, 100%.
Specifically for the jewelry sector.
Yeah, yep.
Got it. Okay.
A little bit more robust. But I've never liked them. I've gotten, away from that, but yeah, so, but I'm trying to think of anything that's other than just being new and not having credit. I mean, there's
Yeah.
and not having the money to, I mean, anybody can go out and buy diamonds and you can get them cheap enough if you're willing to pay the money, but your inventory is going to be, get pretty high pretty fast. And if you're not moving them, you're not going to be able to turn a profit and be able to pay your bills.
Right.
So a memo program, which I think RDI too, which is in Rochester, they're a large, I think any of them, any of the large diamond suppliers and wholesalers offer a memo program with some strict circumstances there, but they do offer that.
How about financing for, there's some businesses where you basically borrow the money for the inventory. So is that a need in this business? I mean,
yeah, and there's I just saw an ad today. Delgado might be one of them, but yeah, there are companies and specialists out there that will finance inventory, I think, for somebody.
mm-hmm.
Yes.
So if this was a platform where you could find product to buy, so all the advantages in terms of being able to, search and compare and find the best price and all that. Plus built into the platform is the idea that, that there's financing where you can buy $1 million worth of product from a supplier and have third-party financing. Is that interest to merchants, or does the existing kind of memo way of doing things work fine?
The memo thing works fine if you're established. I think the financing could be interesting. I don't know if it's something. I mean, we were self-funded, so I don't know if we were privately funded, it probably would be more attractive versus self-funded. I think it could work if the terms are right.
And do you, as a buyer, do you feel as if you have enough sources? In other words, does the idea of a platform that gives you access to more sources appeal to you, or do you feel like, I already got my people?
No, I mean, we add a source maybe or two per year.
Okay.
It just depends on demand, who's got it. So like ovals are really hot. Rounds are always hot, but there's a ton of rounds. So ovals are hot. It just depends on who has the inventory. So sometimes we'll go to a different supplier, fill out the paperwork, and boom, we're approved because of our references, and we can just have a stow memo to us. So that's not, RapNet is really robust. I can't tell you how. I could probably tell you if you need to know how many dealers are on there, but it's pretty robust.
Yeah.
It's pretty much.
So what I'm hearing you say is that RapNet does everything you need it to do right now.
Yeah, it's RapNet, IDEX, and Polygon. I just remembered.
Polygon.
Yeah, those are the three trading platforms.
So between those three, you feel like your needs are met.
I only use RapNet only because they're the longest going and probably the most trusted. But I do, yes. Now it's interesting. You're kind of hitting at the right time for lab-grown diamonds. What nobody's doing yet, and consider this a bird dog because this can go somewhere.
I'm writing it down.
Nobody is taking lab-grown diamonds that serious where they're trading on a platform yet. So while I'm editing this video, I noticed that I said that no platforms were trading lab-grown diamonds. And I stand corrected. Actually, a couple days after recording this video, I did see IDEX come out with an announcement somewhere around September 1st. Today's the 14th. That IDEX is going to be offering lab-grown diamonds on their trading platform. So that's, if you're in trade and you're happy to be watching my video, then IDEX could be a good source for you for lab-grown diamonds. We already work with a couple of houses that supply us lab-grown diamonds. We're really happy with their price and the quality. So we'll stay there. But I just wanted to cut that in and make sure that I was giving correct information. I'm a stickler when it comes to facts and making sure that I deliver the right information. But IDEX, as of September 1st, 2022, said that they are going to launch lab-grown services on their platform. Part of that's because we don't know where the market's going to fall. The prices have come down so much. But There is no one platform. RapNet has not opened it up yet. I don't think IDEX or Polygon has opened it up yet. I mean, this diamond this diamond thing's been going on for years the same way forever. And all of a sudden, here comes somebody new. But these lab-grown diamonds can't be ignored. And I tell you what, if you could have a platform that mimics RapNet, IDEX, or Polygon, and just do lab-grown diamonds,
just focused on lab-grown.
You are literally at the bottom floor of this thing. It's only 4 or 5 years old. You're at the beginning of that and can create a platform and get it up. We've all been asking for it. Martin Rappaport refuses to do it because he's a natural guy, which is fine. I get the politics behind it, or I get why he wants to do that.
Yeah.
But I think everybody's missing the boat on that. And a lot of jewelers are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. There's not many 20-somethings that are getting into this business. So I think that could be a powerhouse.
Okay. And is there consumer demand for that stuff?
It's increasing each year. Yeah. 100%. We went from, last year to sell 4 or 5 lab growns. This year we're already at, 14, 18 pieces. And we don't sell a lot. We get them new, we remanufacture them, and we create them and then sell them on our platforms. We're not a new retail jeweler. But if you do the research, I think it went from like 3% last year to 8% market share this year.
That's a big jump. Yeah.
It's pretty big, and it's the younger generation really likes them.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Matt. Last question is kind of as a buyer, what are the things that matter to you? In other words, price, selection, trusted source,
all of it.
Sort of.
I mean,
but if you had 3 different, you need this piece right now. There's 3 different places you could buy it from.
Well, you're always looking at price, and price is dictated by the quality, really, of the stone. I mean, a lot of these stones can't be bought by paper; they have to be seen because an SI1, same cut, same color, same clarity, could present completely different. So that's important, but I mean, the price does always matter. The availability and the price are going to be the 2 probably best things, I think.
Price, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the idea of the whole rating system is to get some sort of standardization in the product, right? That a SI1 should be an SI1 is the idea.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, and that's why a lot of the lab growns are all certified now. Where a lot of natural stones aren't. I mean, a lot of the ones that are on the trading platform are certified.
Got it.
Kind of eliminates that, but that's why the memo thing works good, because you get a diamond, it's an SI2 and it's cloudy and it looks like garbage, you can just send it right back.
Yeah, right.
Which
you're not out in
there's no risk there.
Yeah, right. Well, the risk there is, you may lose the customer because they want to make a purchase right now.
Yeah, well, right, yeah. That's why you normally memo 3 or 4 of them, and they all come in and you can show them 3 or 4 stones.
Right. You sell them. Yeah, sell the one the customer wants and return the others.
That's it, correct, yeah.
That this, it's the way this business has been done for a long time. And, sometimes that means there's an opportunity there to create a new and better way of doing business. So that's what I'm trying to.
And you're right. I mean, you're right. If it was an industry that was underserviced, you got some.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
Your time.
All right.
Talk soon.
Goodbye. So I think he thinks that, which it is, a lot of the market is still run by those in trade and have been in trade and doing things a certain way. And he's an older gentleman who I think thinks that there's no virtual platform to trade diamonds.
There's tons of them.
There's 3 of them predominantly. Like I said, IDEX, Polygon, and RapNet, but I don't think he understands the scope of what they do. And when I said Martin Rappaport, I'm not sure by his body language if he knew who I was talking about, but hold on.
So it's being done the old-fashioned way, from what I understand, and these guys are trying to create a new digital platform to make it smoother, better, etc.
So he's looking for a smoother, better transaction between a buyer and seller, a wholesaler and a buyer, a jeweler. And I don't think he understands that that this technology already exists.
Well, not only does it already exist. When you go on to RapNet and you look at diamonds, I mean, everything you need to look at, here's the thing about RapNet, maybe he didn't realize this, is you can go on there and the savvy sellers, the ones who sell predominantly on there, first of all, they're rated. You can pick.
Well, I
you know what
told
mean?
that there's
the
a profile.
characteristics.
There's a profile
But not only
attached
that,
to the company.
You can sort what diamonds you even want to look at based on location, seller. You can look specifically for the seller.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
You can set the criteria that you want to even, so you're not weeding through diamonds that you don't even want to look at. But in that, when you open them, you know, the listing, most predominant sellers on there have a link to additional media, videos of the stone, images, not just the search, so that you can weed out diamonds without even making contact with the dealer. I don't think he understands. I don't know how much faster, smoother it can get than that.
I also don't think he realizes that diamonds can't always be bought on paper. Like I told him,
right? That's what I mean.
There's so many different criterias there that your box isn't checking. So hold on.
Understand is just, you know, how things currently operate. What are the points of pain, right? In other words, what are the, you know, for a diamond buyer today, what are the challenges that a new digital product could help them with?
So that's what he's saying is too, payment. Like I kept telling him there usually isn't payment. I can log into my RapNet account, find 8 diamonds that I want to look at, and if I've got already a relationship with those wholesalers, they'll just memo them to him.
Yeah, I heard him say, does that mean consignment?
Does that mean consignment? Yeah. I said, no, consignment's on the
totally
sell
different.
side,
yeah,
forward facing to the public. That would be a consignment when you're consigning a piece for somebody.
People
and selling
don't.
it for them.
Memo. The idea of memo is confusing, I think, to it. But it sounded to me like he doesn't really know exactly what he's getting into here. He hasn't done a lot of market research on
hold
this.
on.
I mean, there's many before you. I mean, RapNet does it on their trading platform.
Right. But RapNet's more of a kind of a classified listing service, right?
That's what it is.
Right.
What he's not understanding is
he has not seen the back end
of
it.
It is huge. So I told him at one point that RapNet is the largest trading platform in the world. And I told him that RapNet is not done lab growns yet. I just received an email, I think, this morning or yesterday, ironically, that IDEX, I think, is the only one that's doing lab grown on their platform.
Starting to, yeah.
So I told him if he wants to be ahead of this curve, to create a platform as robust as RapNet for lab grown specifically,
to do. Sure.
And you'll have a marketplace. But
No, so I can log into my RapNet screen. So there's 2 parts to RapNet. There's the diamond pricing calculator or guide that Martin Rappaport produces every month. And that changes accordingly to the market. Then there's RapNet trading platform. So the trading platform, right, what that is let's just say I've got a client that's looking for a 1 carat F color SI1 stone. I'll go on there, log into my network, and put those parameters in, and they'll show me everybody in the world that are wholesalers that have that diamond available and what the price point is. So there's, and I'm going to forget the name because I'm never on it. There's actually 3 trading. There's IDEX, RapNet, and there's another one.
Which comes to me later.
Hear me pop her head in here.
You were running around out there. I thought maybe you'd hear me.
Trading platforms.
I didn't hear you.
It depends on what you're going to do that is different. So you talked about payment. So a lot of times these guys will go into a member's profile to see how long they've been trading, and there's a rating in there.
We got on the JBT too, Julie Board of Trade.
There's 2 ways I can do it. Fill out some paperwork, and they will memo the stone to me for X amount of days.
No. It almost sounds like you're the first guy he talked to.
So I don't know who he's talking to. So in the beginning, he asked me my background. I've been in the jewelry
Right.
business 14 years.
But did he? But who are his partners? Like, who are these people?
So
that
these
wanna
partners,
just,
so the one partner I think is in the diamond business. He's trying to look at it and learn. He didn't want to get any information. He wanted to look at it and learn from ground floor and go all the way up.
Okay.
Which I respect that because that's kind of what I do when I get into business is I'll get feedback, but I also want to dive in and figure it out for myself.
Yeah.
But he's not realizing this technology exists.
It's already been done.
Martin Rappaport enhances it and improves it on a year-to-year basis. And you're not going to be able to compete with.
Well, here's the thing. There are already 2 other platforms that compete with Rappaport, IDEX and Polygon. So a fourth one isn't gonna.
He's not going to disrupt. He's not going to disrupt the chain.
There's going to be no benefit for buyers to jump onto his platform unless he comes up with some. I don't even know how he would do that. Like, what could you possibly do?
Interesting enough, he said in there that what if? Do you know of anybody who's doing lending on those lots right through their website? Like, I want these 12 diamonds, and I need them for my store. I'm going to apply for the financing of it. I said, no, but you don't necessarily need it if you've got wholesalers that are willing to A, memo them,
right?
And B,
because a lot of them, especially if you have a relationship, will give you terms 30, 60, 90 days,
right?
So that you have time for your buyer to pay
but
for
what
it.
he's not understanding there is there's 2 ways to create a company, right? There's and I said no, we're self-funded, so we would have never
applied to us.
It would have been way too much risk to put ourselves out there.
We would have never
being
done that.
Newbies in buying $500,000 worth of diamonds and then trying to sell them. What's going to happen is if you hold on to those diamonds 30, 60, 90 days without selling them, you're going to get to a point where you're upside down on your payments
and
back to whomever.
You're never going to get on top.
I said, so the groups that have got funders, the larger corporations, that might be doable for them, but not for somebody who's privately funded, which we were. So, privately, meaning we funded it. We didn't have self-funded. We didn't have investors.
Our company. Yeah, but I also think that I still think that jewelers wouldn't do it that way. There's no, especially if there's terms on a.
They would just be a line of credit. Then you just get a line of credit on your LLC or your business, and you
don't
buy $100,000.
Why would you
pay 5 or 6 points in that $100,000,
right?
Rather than a private funding.
Quite frankly, all that's going to do is going to. I see that being a downside for the sellers, not a positive for the buyers, because people that already are funded or
they'll get their money immediately because they'll still get paid.
Right.
The sellers will.
It's going to create. I don't know.
But to wait for the paperwork to get approval and on these specific diamonds, when that wholesaler can sell them 3 times over, probably by the time the buyer gets approved.
Yeah, they're not going to want to do that. Sure.
So I don't. So I would say keep your call with him.
All right, I'll keep my call with him.
I would probably record it.
I will.
Just maybe we'll want to publish it. Maybe we won't. But just to see. And he didn't have a lot of follow-up questions. I don't know if it's because I shot him down too much on his idea. But, that's no different than, what's her name?
Yeah.
Who wanted to create an online boutique.
Yeah.
And she's 4 years now and still hasn't opened that concept.
Yeah.
And
there are a couple. Well, we know another big name that has spent millions of dollars trying to develop a online marketplace for finished goods, and that never went anywhere either. The problem is that a lot of this stuff has already been done. It's hard to redo it again. You can't. Yeah.
You can. I mean. We said that there's been so many Ubers before, they just didn't have the funding behind them.
Right, but again, what makes him different? What is going to separate his platform from anybody else?
I honestly don't think you can compete with IDEX, Polygon, or RepNet.
Right, because there are
how many more platforms?
That's what I mean.
Unless you're, maybe 10 years down the road, if you've got as many members as what RepNet has, but RepNet's got, you and I can literally log in there and find a stone anywhere in the world and have it memo to us with the references that we have now. But I did tell him the first couple of years.
But here's the thing: we already have established relationships. That creating new accounts, I don't.
Well, he asked about that.
I said,
we do go outside of our
We do
normal
if I have
circle
to.
once or
Yes.
twice a year, maybe.
If I have to.
Because it might be an odd call on a
yeah, but
emerald
most
cut
stones,
or a
yeah.
larger, something that's in the 5 to 8 carat range. It's a little bit more difficult to get because not everybody's got those larger carat stones.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, cool.